What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome. What's up? Good morning. Welcome to Hump Day with Hansen. I am Hansen. We got our guy, Tommy T-Bone, Thomas Tipple here on the other side of the glass producing this here live stream. And this is something we did last year every Wednesday. Because Wednesday, let's be honest, now during the season, it's pretty good because we get projections. That's usually the day I would release them. I believe we're doing them a little earlier. But otherwise, Wednesday sucks. I mean, you know, the term hump day can only take us so far. It has, to me, no identity. You're stuck there in the middle of the week. It's early in the week, by the way, on a Wednesday morning. We don't have a ton of information. So it is a little bit of a difficult time to do one of these live streams. But, hey, I take on challenges. It is a little bit of a window where I know the people out there are bored to death. If you're in a corporate job, my advice is get paid by that corporation, but do your fantasy football research on their dime on a Wednesday. So without any further ado, we're trying to organize it a little bit, especially in season, but this is really a Q&A thing, ask me anything kind of a thing, obviously relating to the upcoming season. And we are 8 days away now. I will be honest, and it's been a very busy couple days. I'm still kind of wrapping my head around all the transactions. It was just yesterday where the final cuts came down. We also have that weird 1 to 2 day period where, guys get re-signed, a lot of maneuvering on the practice squad. So, we're going to need another day or two, or maybe 3 before we really know everything in terms of the rosters going into the season, all the roles. By the way, I think that there are more roles that are undetermined than ever this year. I don't know if we're getting the answers like we used to in the preseason. I feel like 10 years ago, I kind of knew every rotation. I knew all the depth charts. It was pretty easy to figure out, a variety of reasons why, the CBA lacking, off-season workout times and things like that. They're not doing quite as much preparation, so maybe that's part of it, but it just seems a little more wide open to me than usual. So that is why one of my many predictions has been that I think the waiver wire is going to be big this year. Maybe not all year, but get ready for that. There's going to be some waiver wire pickups. In fact, as I go around the league here, offering up just some late vibes, anything that really kind of jumps out at me, I'm going to go division by division, and then we will open it up to your questioning. But anyway, let's get right into it. Let's start with the AFC and see what's popping here. I mean, when I look at this division, Buffalo, Miami, the Jets, and New England, I kind of see half the division with good vibes. 2 teams with good vibes and 2 with bad. Obviously the bad, Miami and the Jets. I just don't know what to do with Miami. The vibes are just not good. So I'm kind of out on Miami. I even pulled Devon Achane with this calf injury. That's very, very worrisome. The vibes are just horrific. Mike McDaniel seems like dead man walking. Seems like they figured him out. His system, personnel's not that great. Tyreek, the vibes are a little weird, even though he's running well. What are they doing at tight end, by the way? What are they doing, guys? I mean, it's unbelievable. So bad vibes. The Jets, boy, again, I was in on Breece Hall pretty much all off season. I'm like, I've always liked Breece Hall. He's really good at his best, but I don't know. I mean, he might still hit, and he might do exactly what I thought he would do, which would, rack it up with some decent volume, 200 plus carries. I guess at the end of the day, I just don't have enough confidence in the team. I don't have enough confidence in Justin Fields getting Breece Hall the ball in the passing game. I think Braylon Allen, I don't think he's that good. He's all right. But I think he's going to be a factor. They continue to talk about this. I mean, Aaron Glenn does come from Detroit, where he saw them work a dual backfield for years. So not good vibes there. I mean, Garrett Wilson remains on my list, but I am not feeling warm and fuzzy about it with Justin Fields. At the very least, at least Tyrod is not god awful. Anything for you, Thomas, on Miami and the Jets?
Well, I was gonna say the vibes for Ollie Gordon are great. I mean,
yeah.
anything with Achan is gonna be great for our guy Ollie Gordon.
Yeah.
Love him as a nice stash, but you're right. That offense, a little stagnant. We'll see what happens. But the problem with the Jets is we love Breece Hall. Sounds like the Jets hate him.
Yeah.
It just sounds like the Jets want to do everything they can to minimize him for some reason while also not trading him. My favorite thing about Braylon Allen is every social media clip that the Jets post, it is Braylon Allen running with no one near him or a hole wide enough I could drive my truck through. And it's not through contact, which through his rookie year for such a big guy, and this is my problem with him in college, was he's so big and so fast, but he goes down so easy. So we'll see if he's maybe matured a little bit to the NFL game, but I think ultimately that Jets backfield's more likely to be a three-headed nightmare than it is somebody absolutely smashing. So I love Breece Hall, but I'm going to really love Breece Hall on his next team.
Yeah. And look, fair point about Ollie Gordon. I mean, look, if you're looking for scraps, obviously, I mean, the guy's got a chance. I will say, like 2-3 weeks ago, I talked to somebody who said he was on the bubble. That's all I'm saying. And
Wright's missing time now.
Right.
And they added some depth guys. So
he's looked pretty bad, Jalen Wright. Not really his fault, I guess. But he hasn't been very productive in the preseason. But yeah, fair point about that. In terms of the good vibes, New England, obviously things are looking up. I've officially adopted Drake May as a target of mine. I've always kind of been on the fringes there with him. I did say a lot of good things about him all off season, but I kind of made a decision in July, like, because I'm really selective this year. I'm trying to be really, really picky. So I omitted him originally. And I wasn't down on him. But once I saw that quote from Vrabel, like 2 days ago, talking about design runs, I know from even talking to our guy, Mr. Kaplan, and talking to other people that Vrabel is not this big meathead guy. He's kind of progressive. He understands analytics. He's probably got a couple of nerds working for him, several nerds, Ivy League people, because he's not dumb. Good vibe. I think the receiving core is annoying. I'm not really that into anyone. I kind of like Diggs. I hate to say it. I mean, Diggs is kind of gonna get the ball. But Kyle Williams for the second half of the season, obviously Travion, pretty good vibes here. And then Buffalo, I missed Hard Knocks last night. I got too much going on, but I like that. I got to tell you, I know I wrote this in the Good Vibes article, but I am just so impressed by Josh Allen. Like, just the dude, having interacted with him, interviewed him before he was drafted at the combine. I got a sense of the dude. I'm like, man, I love this guy. And he has not changed. You could see he's a little bit more confident, and you could tell. I mean, because when I talked with him, he was like a beaten down guy because he was getting poked and prodded and all that. He was exhausted from that process. But what an amazing dude. And he's just amazingly great and available. So I think it's pretty good here. I think the Bills are, spoiler alert, I'm picking them to go to the Super Bowl. I think they're looking strong. They got the James Cook situation out of the way. I'm not into Khalil Shakir this year, but I do like Josh Palmer. I don't know. Am I the only one who likes Josh Palmer? I don't know. I've been so ahead of his ADP every year pretty much. I loved him last year, actually. He didn't do crap. He had some injuries, but I have a pretty good vibe here. How about you on Keon Coleman? I have not been into Keon Coleman. He's still just a role player as far as I'm concerned.
It's funny you say that, because on the Dynasty Points market report, when we check trade history on recent trades, Keon Coleman seems to be in a lot of them, and I don't get it. And we get a lot of comments like, why do you guys hate Keon Coleman so much? I didn't love his rookie profile, and it's the thing with Keon Coleman last year, and why I didn't want one of the top receivers going to Buffalo this year is they're a spread it out offense.
Yeah.
They don't have that guy, and they've made it clear since Diggs left that they don't need him. Josh Allen is just that dude. So I'm out. I'm out at his cost in all formats. I just don't see the upside with someone like Keon Coleman. You want Josh Allen, but he's one of those rare quarterbacks where you want the quarterback and not a lot of the weapons.
Yeah. I will say, though, among all their receivers, Josh Palmer, I believe, has the best volume profile. You know, I could maybe say Dalton Kincaid, but they don't throw to Dalton Kincaid. They're not using him optimally, I think. I would say. Joe Brady, that's kind of been the knocks on Joe Brady. Like, he's a run heavy guy, but he's not exactly amazing at scheming guys open, things like that in the passing game, I guess. That's kind of what I've heard. But among all these receivers, I do think Palmer is the best bet to collect some volume because, you know, you can line him up anywhere. They brought him in because he's good against man. He's a very good route runner. He's good. So injuries have been a problem. He's not a stud. Injuries have been a problem, but I think there's a slight chance that he does emerge as kind of the alpha here. But they do certainly spread that rock around. Let's go on to the next division here. We'll kind of try and speed it up a little. How about Baltimore? Your Ravens, like, other than the injuries, and I know Mark Andrews got a little dinged up and Lamar had that scare, but it's been a very quiet summer here at Thomas, but I still have a very good vibe. Why wouldn't we, right? I mean, the offensive coordinator is the man. Monken's the man. You know, he's awesome. And Lamar was incredible. So I'm in on Derrick Henry again. Not in, but I'm in, you know, like I was last year too. But no one else. I do kind of like Mandrews. You know, like, people are like, oh, I don't know. Well, we do know. Why do we know Mark Andrews is not toast? Because of his ass. His ass is sublime, people.
Mark Andrews was such a curious case because everybody knew he was hurt. And then Isaiah Likely goes out and has one of the most fraudulent breakout week ones. It was check down city a lot of the time because of the way the offense was moving. It was a slow start for Mark Andrews, but let's just face it. He's Lamar Jackson's favorite red zone target. Like, we're talking about a guy who scored a touchdown in every game but 2 after week 6. That is unheard of. Yes, the targets are down. I understand. So he's become more of a touchdown magnet. He's probably somebody that's only going to catch anywhere from 56 to 65 receptions. His big breakout with 107 receptions was, let's just face it, that's the Greg Roman special. And that's fine. It is what it is. But he is a touchdown machine, and he is Lamar Jackson's favorite red zone weapon. This team is going to be efficient on touchdowns. And Mark Andrews' price is sublime. He's in a contract year. He's only 29.
I know.
Like, he's written off as dead because everybody wants the next thing, the new hotness.
Yeah.
Isaiah Likely's going to miss some time.
Right.
The Ravens say he's going to be fine. The Ravens are one of the most cautious teams in terms of letting their guys come back from injury. Would not surprise me to see Likely miss 3 weeks.
Yeah. So, and by the way, at the end of the day, I know we're all about data and nerding out and all that, but can we go back and think about football in general? And when you look at football and Lamar Jackson as a football player on the field, competing against the best of the best in the world, he's going to lean on his guy. I mean, that's his guy, Mark Andrews, like in the red zone. Like, from a football perspective, there's no reason why Mark Andrews can't continue to get the love like he got last year. We just told you the average separation data was very good on Mark Andrews, so he's not done. So that's, to me, by the way, that's the best thing about our average separation metrics. Simply put, is this dude done? That's it. Like, or is he on the way to being done? You know what I mean? Now, it's not always a sure thing. Sometimes there's mitigating factors. I remember last year we were talking, I believe Stephon Diggs' average separation data was bad, and then he moves on to a new team, and you're like, oh, forget it. And then it improved. So, it's a little wild. Pittsburgh Steelers. I got to tell you, I don't really have a great vibe. I'm leaning positive with Aaron Rodgers there, though. I think he's I think he understands that this is kind of last chance saloon. and he's not on the Jets. He's on a different team, so it may go a lot better. But I've been in on Jalen Warren all year. I get it. I know Caleb Johnson is a good fit. I mean, I've waffled on that, quite frankly. I've moved Caleb Johnson up. I'm still sticking with Warren's the better pick, even at the cost. Because, by the way, I think the costs are very comparable nowadays. But what say you? On one hand, you could see Caleb Johnson working. Good fit for Arthur Smith. But on the other hand, it could be like Tyler Algier that one year where, yeah, he did some stuff, but are we using him? Do we trust him? What do you think, Thomas?
The problem is Aaron Rodgers hates rookies, and I can just see Caleb Johnson missing one assignment.
Yeah, well, that's
fumbling once
for sure. That's been my main thing with Warren the whole way.
Exactly, and Ryan Heath has really been on this all year. I'm hit or miss on Caleb. Look, I'm not a film scout. I've never pretended to be. I think he looked worse than the hype. Remember, I live chronically online. I mean, we all do in this business. The hype for him in that last preseason game, I think, was a little bit overblown. He looked like he went down soft on contact. He looked like he was kind of running into his own guy.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
I wasn't impressed. I loved him pre-draft, loved him. But I think Warren, look, pass catching is the upside. We all know this, and we know Warren can play down at the goal line as well. I think it's going to be a weird role. I think Caleb Johnson probably week 9, week 10 is when he starts really becoming what we hope he was potentially, if especially if Warren gets hurt a little bit. But again, you got to be careful with Aaron Rodgers, who is saying all the right things, like you mentioned. I have this feeling, and this is my conspiracy theory stuff with Rodgers. I think he just wants to try to prove that it was just New York media. It wasn't me. Look, I'm coming into the building and saying all the right things. It was the New York media that spun everything. Right. There's just something with them. I give it 3 games until the facade is gone and he's back to demanding either Devontae Adams or Alan Lazard on that team. Like it just, I can't trust them. Vibes are bad to me.
It's a weird dynamic to think about. Like, Mike Tomlin leading that way. Mike Tomlin, this guy, I told a story where I was walking down the road at the Senior Bowl and I see this dude. And by the way, it was like late at night. It was like midnight. I'm coming home from, going out. And I see this dude and he's walking. I'm like, my God, that guy's confident in himself. Jeez, it's like he owns the street. It was Mike Tomlin.
Yeah.
I just don't know if that and Aaron Rodgers are going to be a great marriage. But to me, it's almost too weird that like it's kind of has to work.
Yeah.
Or else it's going to go really bad. And the Steelers are an organization. They don't really have that much in terms of that drama. So I think it's going to be okay. Cincinnati, hey, I'm fine with Cincinnati. I think that, some O-line problems. Loved how Burrow played a lot. I mean, but did anyone play more than Burrow at quarterback this year among the starters? I don't think so.
They threw their whole season on the line, watching him like scramble around in the preseason and just get
put his
hit
body on the
hit.
line. Yeah,
I'm like, guys, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. I know, but he made it out of there, and they won't be rusty as they've been. Cleveland, I will give Jerry Jeudy a lot of credit. I've always been a Jerry Jeudy person. If people who follow me, they know that I've pumped him up incorrectly. But I will give the guy credit because he's clearly matured, this guy. He has clearly turned a corner. I wrote in the article, I'm like, Steve Smith would be proud. If you remember that time Steve Smith called his ass out.
Oh, yeah.
On
live TV.
Steve Smith's a tough one, man. I don't know him, but I've interacted with him multiple times. He's one of those guys like you never know what he's going to say or how he's going to react to something. You just never know. You literally never know. Anyway, moving on to the AFC South. I kind of have a pretty decent vibe on the Texans. I know their O-line situation's weird. I don't want to overrate the preseason because it's only the preseason, but it seems like their O-line has been a little solidified. I guess they're going to go with the rookie there at left tackle, right? Or maybe because I guess Cam Robinson, that trade did not happen yet, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel all right. I mean, I get it. I really warmed up to Nico because as I watched the preseason play out, I mean, we all like Jaden Higgins and Jalen Noel. They're great kids. They're dudes. They're really good, but they haven't lit it up this summer. And Christian Kirk's the veteran, and I mean, I saw Xavier Hutchinson make a good play in the last game, so maybe he opens as a starter. I don't know, but I still have a pretty good vibe. But when I looked at it all, I'm like, yeah, Nico is like maybe low key like a alpha, like a big time alpha. You know what I mean? We all know he's the one, but I mean, maybe he's gonna be like big time getting the ball just because of the state of the roster here, breaking in these young guys and the new Christian Kirk. I still think Dalton Schultz, again, I can't believe I'm like somewhat obsessed with this, but he's literally free. And we all say that, oh, he's free. No, this one actually is free. I mean, his ADP is like infinity. It's like 200. Indy Colts, I feel good. I really do. Daniel Jones, we all know what we're dealing with Daniel Jones, but probably the best O-line plus running game that he's ever had. I'd say the best receiving core that he's ever had. Pretty decent coaching staff. I mean, Steichen has gotten a lot out of quarterbacks. Broke in Herbert, Hurts. I have a good vibe. Tyler Warren looks awesome. I saw they let go of one of the tight ends. Was it Mo Alley? Thinning out that group.
Finally. I can just should I hang on to it? No. God, no. This Kylie Granson, Woods, Cox, stop. We have a real tight end now. Enough.
Yes, just stop. Get some help. And they did. And Tyler Warren, that's an old Jordan. You ever see that
the Jordan?
Michael Jordan? Oh, it's classic.
Stop.
Get
some help.
It's so great. Jacksonville, I have a good vibe. I mean, we'll see about the running back room. I mean, everyone assumes that they're going to be trading either Tank Bigsby or Travis Etienne, which would be open up a nice little clearing lane for Tootin. I kind of like Tootin as because he, defaulting to the old, he's the cheapest, but he's also the cheapest who might have the best long-term outlook here. I know Tank Bigsby can catch the ball. So we'll see. I mean, if Tank Bigsby, Thomas, goes to the Cowboys, is he RB 25 now on the board or 30?
I would think so. I think he immediately becomes. I'm not a Tank Bigsby guy. I called it the fake tank over last year when he had the two big games. But I think he immediately becomes the most explosive running back, and he probably splits passing down work with Javonte. So I think the running game is still kind of iffy, but I think he has a real legitimate shot at RB. Yeah, 20. I'd probably move him closer to 23, 24. Like he would move above the JCM tier for me. I think he moves solidly into RB 24.
Yeah, and that's a sad statement, but it's totally true. Tank Bigsby would be their most explosive running back because my contention, dumb Nate Hackett ruined Javonte Williams. Got to get Mike Boone out there. Got to get our third running back out there in like week 3.
Whenever you have a chance to get Mike Boone out, you got to do it.
I mean, by the way, I guess LaQuint Allen made the team out of Syracuse. He is a great kid. I walked up to him on the field at in Mobile just because he's a South Jersey guy, and I wanted, what I wanted to see? I wanted to see if he had any respect for his elders because he is from Millville, New Jersey, which is a shitty area, but no offense, but. They call that area of New Jersey pretty much Alabama, but it's true. But anyway, I asked him if he was familiar with a very famous sports alumni from that town, and he knew all about Mike Trout. So I was like, all right, there you go. I like that. He understood it where he was from, and that Mike Trout was a superstar. I don't know, probably 10 years older, 12, and he was a really nice kid, and he's a good player. Good receiver. So anyway, I have a pretty good vibe overall on the Jaguars. I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to suddenly be awesome. But by the way, I will say this: if we don't see nice signs of progress from Trevor Lawrence, at least late in the season with Liam Cohen, then that's it for Trevor Lawrence. Like, I'm not saying he's done, but like I kind of feel like this is last chance to elevate your game under Cohen. But in his defense, the first staff was a disaster. The second staff was mediocre, to be kind. I mean, at best, with Doug Peterson. Moving on here, Tennessee. I have a good vibe on Tennessee. I mean, I think the offensive line is looking great. Tajay Spears, that is a buzzkill, but it certainly helps Tony Pollard. They don't have anything behind him. I still think Spears is worth the flyer late, for later in the season, because if he can heal up, he's going to have a role. They want him to have a role because he's good. But, I'm not expecting the world with Cam Ward, but I'm expecting improvement from last year with that bum Will Levis, who's terrible. I said he was the worst vibe I ever had at the combine for a quarterback, and he sucks, basically. It's over. Moving on here to the AFC West. Obviously, the Rashee Rice stuff is worrisome, but I'm telling you, they are sick of it, as are we. I thought this would happen last year. That I actually liked Mahomes last year. It really obviously didn't happen, but they are going to push the ball down the field this year. You saw Tyquan Thornton. Hey, he might catch 12 balls this year, but for 22 yards a catch. Maybe he's a shot play guy. Obviously, Xavier Worthy has been integrated pretty well. I have a good vibe. I hate to say it because I don't really like him, but Isaiah Pacheco looks good this year. He looks explosive and healthier, so he's going to be the guy. Kareem Hunt's going to be getting those goal line carries. Kareem Hunt scoring week 1. Okay, I'll say that because he will not go away. Chargers, I'm not in on Herbert. I could be wrong there. He might run. Obviously, the Slater injury hurt. They're fine. I mean, I'm okay with them. Hampton is looking obviously solid with the Najee Harris situation. I do think Ladd, and I love Ladd. Can't say I didn't love Ladd, but I do think he's a little overrated in terms of just his ADP. So I have him a little bit lower, but I do think it's going to be an ugly committee at tight end. I mean, they have a lot of weapons here with Harris and Keenan Allen back, of course, and Ladd. The other rookie, Lambert Smith. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if we have a major go-to guy here. Obviously, we all know they're going to run the hell out of the ball. Denver, Bo Nix has not been amazing, but he's good. He's fine. Like, they played a ton in that third game, by the way. I mean, what the hell, man? They're playing like it was a regular season game. I took my dog for a walk. I'm watching the game. I took my dog for a walk. All of a sudden, I come back. Cortland Sutton's got like 5 catches. All right, well, and Cortland Sutton's going to be getting a lot of targets. I am over his ADP, and I don't really like him, but because he's a little boring. But getting volume and catching passes for good yardage and scoring every week, that's not boring. So it's probably a me problem. Raiders, I kind of have a decent vibe. I very much like Brock Purdy. Obviously, though, the Jacoby Myers thing is just a massive buzzkill. And I have to move off of Jacoby Myers for sure. But, Genti looks good. I have some confidence in that coaching staff with Geno. Anything in the AFC, Thomas, that we glossed over that you wanted to chime in on?
I mean, I think you hit it pretty well on the nose. I will say, if you're a dynasty player like I am, Gadsden is a must stash on your taxi squad. I love Conk Daddy. I will spread my Tyler Conklin propaganda across this great nation, or as Brian Drake would say.
Hey, Conk Daddy, as bad as he was,
yeah,
he was almost right there where I said he would be. I mean, if you look at the total scoring, he was like 15th in scoring or 16th or something. If it wasn't that ugly, he would have done exactly as I said.
Yeah. And I think, championship week, Conk Daddy smashed last year. So I'll say I'm big on any Greg Roman tight end room. Gadsden legitimately pops off the screen. And he was a favorite the second he went there. I'm all about him. stash him. We haven't talked about him a lot. Stash him now.
I have a vendetta against Gadsden, though, because
Oh, no.
the first expert league ever in existence is called FanX. It was called. I was invited in 1997. It was already existing a year before, and I was writing for ESPN.com in 1996 and 7, and they wanted, I guess, somebody who was in the industry like Name was, and they asked me to be in it. I won the league.
Right.
Next year, I still remember my quarterback was Jeff George. He threw 31 touchdown passes in 1997, and I absolutely called that for the Raiders. But
Is that
the next year, I'm in the ship again. By the way, I won it again in 2000 and 2000 in 99 and 2000. So I won it in 97, 99, 2000. 98, I'm in the ship, late fourth quarter, I'm up 4 or 5 minutes left in the game. Dan Marino throws a touchdown on the left side to Aronde Gadsden. Championship gone. Just like that. I mean, I was 4 minutes away from winning 4 years in a row in the first expert league in existence. But I did win 3 of 4, and many people called the league, instead of FanX, they called it HanX. Because actually Adam Kaplan invented that. Kaplan was in the league back in the day. I'll tell you who was in the league who's still around. Bob Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Bryant from Football Guys was in that league. And others. I can't remember. A couple of other people who aren't really in the industry. Anyway, went on a tangent. And we're already way behind.
It's all good. I say we take this first quick live break here. When we come back, maybe dive into some questions.
Yeah, let's.
And maybe next week we can hit NFC.
All right, that's a good idea.
Right.
That is
Let's
a great
do
idea.
that.
But I do want to get into some Adam Thielen talk real quick.
Of course
we'll do
we
that
can.
on the other side.
Other side of this break coming up. Adam Thielen, can't wait.
This is Nick B, and I'm reading this ad because I was my fantasy league's biggest loser. So if you want to win your fantasy league and make more money, head to fantasypoints.com to get the edge you need.
How about our guy, the great Nick Bakay, hooking us up with that? If you know Nick Bakay, if you watched Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I mean, it's the most famous cat voice of all time, Salem right there. But Nick is a great guy. I've known him for over 20 years. He actually, you know how I met him? I saw he subscribed one day, and I was like, oh, wow, I love this guy. So I shot him a note. I'm like, dude, just want to say, big fan, man. It's great to see, pull in. He responded. He said, I drove from Vegas back to LA, and I got in my car, and I just happened to turn on Sirius, and your show was starting, and I listened to it all the way, and I went right home and subscribed. I was like, cool. That's how I know Nick Bakay. All right. So before we get into the questions, obviously the big news of the day, and I did call this Adam Thielen going to the Minnesota Vikings. It was so obvious when Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah continued to stack up all these draft picks. They made 2 trades to add picks. So obviously Adam Thielen, the local guy, Mankato dude, and it's tremendous. And certainly there is a reason why they did this. I guess is maybe they have some concerns about maybe the hamstring issue that Jefferson's dealt with, but also Addison.
And Naylor's hurt, and Naylor's going to miss time as well. So I mean, why not have a veteran that can just come in and
absolutely
be that guy to fill in? So
I kind of like Felton, but I guess he's probably outside guy for now. But yeah, Naylor was their inside guy often.
And if you want to help JJ McCarthy early, you don't put a rookie Oppo Jefferson. You need somebody that has, some veteran chops to help that. It's the same thing with the Tim Patrick thing. Everyone's worried that Tim Patrick's going to hurt Hunter. No, teams just like having veteran fourths, right? They need someone that they can trust to help and teach and guide, etc. That's to me what Adam Thielen is here. But I think he can also get a good bulk of targets while Addison is out. And let's remember, Addison has had a little bit of a history of missing some time as well.
Yeah. I mean, this is, hey, I'm all in on JJ McCarthy. I still have him ranked higher than we do at Fantasy Points officially on the site. I don't think there's probably no one higher on McCarthy than me. I've got him right now, and this is before the move, even though I knew it was coming. QB 11. I understand we don't have access to the results. We're only being predictive. This is a very unique opportunity to draft a quarterback at 160 overall who very, very legitimately could account for 30 plus touchdowns in year one. As I've stated, the last time I did this with a Viking quarterback was Dante Culpepper. I ranked him at QB3 in 2000. And people are like, what the hell? QB3, dude? He has 0 starts on his resume. Didn't care. And he had 40 touchdowns. I ranked him behind Peyton Manning and Kurt Warner. And there's probably one person watching right now who was a subscriber then that year, and everyone got Culpepper. And everyone killed. They just murdered everybody. By the way, my second choice that year was Jeff Garcia as a great pick. And
CFL legend.
They had like 80 touchdowns combined.
Oh, yeah.
They had like 77 touchdowns, those guys. Anyways.
Old Calgary Stampeder, Jeff Garcia. There you go.
I've met that guy. He's not that big of a dude, man. I mean,
no.
I couldn't believe it. But yeah, this is the best receiving core in the NFL.
Hard to argue. I think Cincinnati gives them a pretty close run for the money, but this has got to be right up there.
I think the Hawkinson factor. I mean, I know Cincinnati's got flashy guys like Gesicki, but Hawkinson
miss me with Gesicki, please. Just miss me. I'm done. I don't care about that dude. He needs people to get hurt. I can't do it.
Flash Gesicki, that's what I call him. He flashes and then he disappears for 6 weeks.
Yep.
All right. So what do we have question wise here?
I got a couple here dialed in. We had a few real early. Obviously, Rel's up, man. Nice to see you back in the mix. That's how you know week one's on the way, is when some of our regulars are popping back into YouTube chat. Rel's up, man. Patiently waiting 80 minutes while on the clock at work, still taking Jefferson over Bijan at the 2 spot in a redraft.
It's tough. I understand. It's my advice, and I even have trouble doing it. But number one, I mean, this right tackle issue with Caleb McGarry, that doesn't help. I mean, that does not help the vibes. I know Robinson is pretty good, the offensive coordinator, and they were solid last year. I think that's the one thing that, like, if I didn't have confidence in the OC, I'd be completely off the Falcons. Right. Because I don't feel like their vibes have been great. It's been a little quiet, but Penix he's just a little inconsistent. I'm going to do it because, again, Thomas, I mean, I don't know where you are on this, but so I assume we're at 2, right? I'm not taking Saquon at 2. He's too old. Sorry. I mean, could be wrong. But again, let's come back and do you have a crack at Chase Brown in round 2? Between Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Chase Brown, and Josh Jacobs, I think one of those is going to be there for you.
Yeah.
And if they are, I like Jefferson plus that dude more than I like Bijan plus McConkey.
That's right.
That's it. You agree, Thomas?
Yeah, I think the higher end at wide receiver is harder to find on a week-to-week basis, where running back on a week-to-week basis, if you say you end up with somebody like Kyron, on any given week, Kyron can drop that same 20, 25. Maybe he doesn't have the 30-plus that Bijan would, but I'm more inclined to go with the highest end of wide receiver.
Yes.
And then maybe you want to – I'm even okay a Hampton in round 2 to me, upside case for me, something like that. I'm good with that. I'm willing to take that risk, but
100%.
You're just not going to find Justin Jefferson in round 2, round 3, round 4. You're just not.
You're just not. I totally agree. Right. What else we got?
Mark Farmer, another regular. How do you prefer / prioritize stash and hope versus handcuff with a short 5-spot bench? Example, Woody Marks, Palmer, Strange. He has Kelsey versus Najee as a Hampton owner, or Giddens as a Taylor owner. This is the classic should you handcuff your own running backs kind of
Yeah.
discussion.
I find myself being less inclined to do that, quite frankly. I think I'm not going to be that into the handcuffs right now. I just think that there's more depth at running back. And again, this is my 31st year. I think it might even be 32nd, over 30. I'm telling you right now, there has never been as many viable players at running back on rosters, active on game day, than there is right now. This is the deepest the position has ever been. So that means I feel like that makes the handcuffing a little less valuable. But, every situation's different. I don't think there's a great handcuff for Taylor now.
No,
I don't think there's a great handcuff for a lot of guys.
There's one there's one in my opinion. His name's Zach Charbonnet.
I mean, that's a great one, but he's
outside of that.
I don't even know if we can classify him as a handcuff, because I think a handcuff needs to go off the board like 150 or later.
Fair. That's fair. You're absolutely right with that. And it's kind of been statistically looked into that handcuffing your own back just limits your upside. And to be honest, and I talk about this on Dynasty Points all the time, half the time we think we know who the backup is going to be that comes in and smashes, and it's not that guy. This dates back for me to the Mike Boone scenario where it was like wheels up Mike Boone in Minnesota, as you know, and it just wasn't. So we don't always know who the backup is going to be. So I'm more of the stash and hope myself than I am the handcuff guy. It sounds like you're right there.
Well, here's a couple real quick.
Okay.
I mean, Trey Benson is 163. I classify that as a handcuff. That's a very good one.
Yep.
Tyler Algier, it's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty good one at 186, right? Baltimore, I don't see it. Buffalo, I mean, it's going to have to be Ray Davis, but I don't think it's a top priority. And I love Ray Davis because of freaking Ty Johnson. They freaking love Ty Johnson. In Carolina, that's Dowdle. His ADP is 195. Okay. Swift, I don't know what it is. I mean, Monogany, is he going to have a role?
Rutgers legend Kyle Monangai. Yeah, he's a stash for me just because I'm a Rutgers guy. Don't ask how a Canadian from Southern Ontario ends up as a Rutgers fan, but hey, that's my guy. But that's a personal bias.
Yeah, I mean, my mom went to Rutgers. I don't even root for Rutgers. I didn't even apply to Rutgers for some reason. Anyways, none of my kids did. My kids are like, oh, what's that? You have a high quality university at a state discounted rate? We're not going there.
Yeah.
Why would we want to do that?
Of course not.
They didn't even apply. My one son went to UMass and my other son went to Delaware. Didn't even apply. But I am a big Delaware person. I love University of Delaware. I had no problem writing them my tuition checks because that's a great university. Shout out to Rich Gannon, former NFL MVP. All right. Cincinnati, I mean, it's Brooks, but it's complicated because of Pirine. Cleveland, we don't have much. Dallas, we don't even know who the RB1 is, for God's sakes. Denver, I mean, Beatty or Bidet, whatever the hell it is. I mean, he's going to be involved, but I don't think we have a good handcuff. Detroit, there's no handcuff. I will say Green Bay, I am intrigued by Marshawn Lloyd for the whole season. Like if Josh Jacobs got hurt in like week 11 and Marshawn Lloyd was there and, doing well, I know he's hurt right now. I'm telling you, he'd be really good. Really good. Cause he's had a couple plays this summer even. I'm like, whoa, okay. Let's see. Houston, forget it. They don't have one. Indy, again, I don't think they have a great one, but you get into the rookie. Jacksonville, forget it. They don't have one. KC, it's got to be Hunt. Chargers, it's Harris. None of these are great. Raiders, Mostert, McCormick.
There's not a lot. There's really not a lot.
Jordan Mason's a great one, but he's getting love. New England, they don't really have one, I don't think. It's a kind of a dual backfield. New Orleans, forget it. Giants, they've got Singletary lingering. This is not a handcuff environment anymore. Jets, forget it. Of course, Allen, if you want it, but it'll drive you nuts. Will Shipley, that's a good one. I know there's some concerns about whether or not he could run with power and with volume and all that, but that's not a bad one.
At the end of the day, the thing with handcuffs is they're handcuffs. They're backups, right? Like I said, I loved Ollie Gordon. He forced a ton of missed tackles through the preseason. I think it was the most. But at the end of the day, they're just not going to score like the starter. So we have to temper our expectations no matter what. And that's the thing I think that people get lost in the sauce with. I got the right handcuff. That's great. Enjoy half the production. Look at Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason had the best spot possible, and he barely capitalized on it, right? So it's tough. You want to have them, but temper our expectations is how I look at it to begin with, which is not talked about often enough in the fantasy space, in my opinion.
Yeah, we just went through it.
It's gross.
I'm not going to say I'm full DGAF, but I'm leaning DGAF on handcuffs. I do not care for the most part, other than the few. I'd have to say Trey Benson's number one on my list.
Oh, Greg just said B-Rob. B-Rob's not a bad one, but he's not really. He's going a little bit earlier. We'll see where the ADP settles now after the trade, but I actually don't mind that one.
Oh, sure.
At all. Brian Zeitler says PPR bench stash last spot for flex appeal. Funny, there used to be a Canadian indie wrestling tag team called Flex Appeal. Just small wrestling facts. Marvin Mims or Dylan Sampson, Guru?
Well, Mims is looking like the safer bet to have some PPR value right out of the gate. If he's going to be the 2, they let Valet go. I kind of like Marvin Mims a lot last year. It probably beat his ADP by the end of the year. Of course, for 2 months, I had to apologize for saying anything positive about Marv Mims. I have personally not been overly impressed with Dylan Sampson, but he does he looks certainly like he belongs, obviously. And if he has to be the guy, he's going to be pretty productive. Ford's all right. I know he's boring and he's not really good at anything, but he's not terrible. I guess I got to go with the running back because the running back is a commodity that could be a hot one real quick. Whereas, are we really going to be diving to the keyboard and the computers to pick up Marvin Mims? Maybe, but I'd probably have to. I'd have to go with the running back just because it's harder to get a guy like Dylan Sampson than a Mims. A Mims, there'll be like 7 Mimses that emerge. Like there'll be like 6 or 7 dudes who are comparable to Mims on your waiver wire after week 1. Whereas I don't know if there'll be that many running backs who are in the mix.
Yeah, I totally agree. 100%. Louis Capone wants to know, what is the earliest I should grab Egbuka in a 12-man PPR? He says, I have pick 2.
What's up there? That is the fantasy Godfather right there. Does a very good Godfather. Very, very good. Almost as good as Marlon Brando himself. What is the earliest I grab Egbuka? 9-man, the thing with Egbuka is, do you want him as a upside-oriented 3 that you're going to roll with right out of the gate? Or is he... I think at this point, that's kind of how you have to draft him, right, Thomas?
Yeah, and I'm not. And, this seems like it's a rookie draft. So this is a bit early for me. He's probably somewhere in and around pick 6 for me. So it's a little early, but at 2. But that's in Superflex, probably 105 if not. So Eileen is probably around 5-6. He's replaced Judkins for me in that spot. So
you're thinking this is a rookie question?
Well, if you're drafting 2, that's how I'm looking at it. I have dynasty brain all the time. If you're in a 12-man PPR, 8th round, right? Yeah, probably 8th, 7th round is probably where I'm taking him.
Where the hell is his ADP? Why can I never find these guys on this damn list? Whenever I'm looking, was he an 8th rounder?
I would say that's where I'm going.
Actually, like ninth round, like eighth round. Yeah, eighth round's about right. Because in that regard, like if you are drafting Ibuka as your 3, you're doing it with a loaded running back room, and maybe you have a stud tight end. Maybe
Exactly.
you paid up. In that role, okay. But anything other than that, maybe Ibuka should be like a 4, drafted as a 4.
Yeah, I agree. We had Rich Rebar on Dynasty Points, and he said he's cooling off on the Buccaneers offense a little bit. So
I've been kind of cool all year, and again, I don't want to disparage Baker. I liked Baker a lot coming out. Was wrong about him last year. I didn't give him enough love. And right now I'm at the market, but at the end of the day, they have a first-time play caller. So it's always going to be a leap of faith. And Liam Cohen was so good that he got a job. He got a head coaching job on 1 year. So that's a loss.
Yep. I could not agree more. We're going to scroll down. I know some people asked some older questions. We got some people that are live watching. So we're going to kind of jump ahead there. If you have a question that you need answered or you feel like you got skipped, we apologize, but you do have a super chat option if you really need it. Rels Upman drops a 5. Happy countdown to the season, gents. Thanks for answering. Here's to a fun season on Fantasy Points. We are excited for this season. I just want to get this one out of the way. Chief Libertarian, where's the rest of Thomas Tipple? I left it back in March.
Yeah.
The rest of me has been left in March.
That's Chief Librarian.
A librarian.
Big difference between a libertarian and
That's
a librarian.
Right. I don't know.
Are there any libertarian librarians out there? That's what I'd like to know.
They don't pay me to read here. Like, you guys don't pay me to read here too often. So apologies. Kathleen wants to know, Guru, please advise on the Houston backfield for the Queen. Thank you.
The Queen. Thank you, Queen. I saw your photo there. She's repping Fantasy Points apparently all over America.
Love to hear it.
So advise on the Houston backfield. Okay. I mean, Queen, I mean, you know me. I mean, I'm not going to get excited about Nick Chubb at all. So when I look at the backfield, I think that Woody Marks is someone to take a shot with. Known for being a good receiver, but he had a couple runs this summer. I'm like, okay, where he's like running the rock with some power. I'm like, okay. And come on, enough of Dameon Pierce. He was in the game last game, late. I know he's made the team. Did Agumba Wale make it? I mean, look at this. Nick Chubb, old. Mixon, old, and maybe in the dirt. Pierce, hey, I liked him that first year. I liked him, but I guess the blocking scheme change, all that.
Yeah,
there's nothing going on there. So it's Woody Marks. I mean,
they're throwing the ball 55 times a game. Let's just be real.
One of the reasons why I like Nico. Nico's going to get a lot of love. And again, I hate to say, Dalton Schultz in a skank league where you're digging deep. But yeah, you look at the backfield, it's not a lock, but I think Woody Marks can carve out a role pretty quickly. I know Agumba Wale is good in pass pro and all that, but if Woody Marks can show that he can do that, he's got more upside in the passing game. So why would they not use him? They did draft him and all that. So yeah, Woody Marks, or forget it. How about that?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, just hearing the coaching staff be like, well, Nick Chubb, he's been through a lot. He's up there, and it's like, wow, that is a ringing endorsement. It's
going to be 19 carries for 61 yards, 1 catch for 5. But if he scores, he'll come through. But you're counting on touchdowns. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going through here and I'm looking, and I am just picking my favorite questions at this point. Mark, and a last name I'm not even gonna try because I will butcher it. We got Mooney or Downs.
Ooh, I mean, they're both damn good wide receiver 4s. Let's see. I don't even know who I have higher. Mooney. Oh man, I got him neck and neck. That's why I'm struggling. Well, there it is. I was going to go with what I have. I have Mooney scoring 0.1 more fantasy points per game than Downs. Both guys hurt right now. Mooney's going to do, unless Penix is bad, Mooney's going to be just like he was last year. This is one of the worst receiving cores in the league. I don't know. I mean, I guess people don't care, but Thomas, have you seen their depth at receiver? It stinks.
Yeah, it does. It does.
It stinks.
We've got RB number wearing McLeod, and it's not great for me. I'm gonna go Downs. So it's I'll go Josh Downs in this. I was big Mooney last year. This year, maybe it's just because I'm praying that Drake London gets 195 targets and he doesn't throw to anybody else. But I like, again, dating back to our show with Rich Rebar, he said that there's very few players that have that Antonio Brown on the field in them. And he said Josh Downs is one of them. So if somebody like Rich Rebar is that in, I'm going to go with Downs.
Hey, I love Downs from day one
already.
I love Downs from day one, but just a couple things. More of an injury risk. And as great as he is, he does command the ball. But, man, they do have a lot of weapons there. I don't want to suffer paralysis by overanalysis, but, I think I think Downs is a better receiver than Mooney. But Mooney, it's close. And Mooney's, come on. It's like they have to throw it to Mooney. They have to. I don't know if they have to throw it every week to Josh Downs. So it's close, but I'm going to go Mooney.
And we have Evan Cordy, who, look, we're running at 56, almost 57 minutes. We're going to have to wrap it up shortly. Not as many questions as we'd like to have got to. We're going to get into the flow of this thing. It's, look, we're still learning the flow with this hump day, but we are going to get locked in a few more questions, but we are going to have to wrap it sometime here soon.
We are. Yeah, I have to.
So
I do have to run too.
Exactly. So we've got Evan Cordy. I think this is going to be the best one. If you guys have questions that aren't answered, this is how you can get it done. When this stream is over and you have the option to drop that question into the comments on YouTube, do that, and I will make sure that every single one of the questions that you guys ask get answered personally.
Okay. All right.
So lock in. If it's not answered and you need it, drop it in the comments section. I will make sure those get answered. He needs to know, Evan Cordy's needs to know, who is John's guy this year? I remember when John was beating the table for Chris Hogan, and it made my season. Guru, they need to know the guy. And I believe earlier he asked specifically anywhere between rounds 6 through 9. Do you have that one guy?
Yes, I do.
All
and
right.
By the way, yes, I did get Chris Hogan very right one year, but I also got him very wrong one year. So I apologize to those people. At that time, for those who are old enough to remember, I was doing the Sergeant Schultz. I was like, Hogan. But that's not a reference for the kids. My guy's Ricky Pearsall, wide receiver 47, San Francisco, in that range. Perfect. It's absolute perfection. This is why I get out of bed in the morning. Why wouldn't we be interested in Ricky Pearsall? He had a pretty decorated college career. He's a great dude. I've met him. He passed my sniff test more than anyone else ever, perhaps. One of my favorite vibes ever. I told him that I was a separatist, and he loved that. By the way, he loved the term. Now he's playing for Kyle Shanahan, and it's looking awesome. So, planetary alignment for Ricky Pearsall. So that's my guy.
I love it. I mean, we had you on Dynasty Points last night. I was actually thinking about it. I've been out of the retail game for quite a while now, as I worked in an auto shop before fantasy football. And I got to tell you, this is the closest thing that I can remember to a close open, as we had Dynasty Points close the content day and Hump Day open the content day on the next day. So we're doing a fantasy football close open. You talked Ricky Pearsall up on the good vibes every possible way. We even got Ryan Heath to kind of admit that he's, a little bit better at cost than he thought as a Juwan Jennings believer. if there's a time, this is it. He's set up
it.
to absolutely smash. I mean, I don't know. I've been touting that Ayuk is probably not even going to be Ayuk until next season because that knee injury was a little worse than we thought.
Yeah.
So and knee injuries like that, I mean, it opens up the door to more hamstring problems. It's just messy and murky.
You want to hear a little cheat code thing that I've used to my advantage? And I'll use anything to help me be correct to steer people in the right direction. I've noticed that, being around athletes, that there's a certain tier of player that a fellow athlete is going to be impressed by.
Right.
And Ricky made the cut. So if you talk to other receivers who know Ricky Pearsall, like, Hall of Famers, guys like that, like Torrey Holt, for example, as a friend of mine. If you talk to those guys about Ricky, they're like, oh yeah, Ricky can ball. But if you talk to them about, I don't know, somebody else that's not Ricky, they'll be like, eh. So if you're impressing an athlete, as Ricky has, I believe, and I think he travels in those circles, then I think you're a baller. By the way, he spent a lot of time with Brock Purdy working together privately with Purdy. So Ricky can go, and Ricky will go.
Yeah, he is. I think he's set up to smash. And I mentioned last night, if Brett Whitefield's that far in, who am I to say no? The guy is just an absolute stud at pointing out wide receivers. That's why Brett Whitefield is who he is and why he does what he does.
The famous story is I sat down at the bleachers first day 2 years ago with Brett, and he's like, oh, come on, come check out my guy, Ricky Pearsall. So I'm like, oh yeah, let's check him out. I sit down on the thing. He makes a play. Next rep makes another play. 2 minutes later, third rep, another big play. I look over to Brett. I'm like, can he be my guy too? Because this guy is awesome.
Yeah, it's hard to deny. Well, Guru, I think that's it. If you like the stream, likes what you're hearing, look, you can use the QR code on the screen. It takes you to the plans. You can use code YouTube10. The link will also be down in the description. If you haven't already, there is still time to get in at fantasypoints.com. Get help with your draft, industry-leading projections. We're talking DFS. We're talking best ball. We have quite literally everything that you can possibly think of, from college football to the data suite. Does not matter what you need. Fantasypoints.com has it for you. Guru, the people always love to see more of you. I'm happy to be back with Hump Day with Hansen. Final words before you take us out.
Well, we'll try to be a little bit more organized, and I'm always guilty of taking too much time on every question because I want to be conscientious, and then we screw people over. So we're going to come in with a plan of attack, and we're going to have like 20 minutes of content. Then we'll open it up, So let's just plan on that. And one big focus will be, because it's Wednesday morning, it's a good day, part of the week is players to trade and trade for.
I love it.
So that'll be a focus. And then we'll try and do some early looks. Just keep in mind, Wednesday morning, I'm not, I'm like 20% in on preparing for the upcoming week. So it is a little challenge to do this live stream at this exact time, but we're doing it at this exact time just for that reason, kind of, because it's dead. It's like a dead period. Like Wednesday morning, we don't really know much. So why not just put the pressure on me? I gotta figure out who's going to practice or not, but it's all good. And we'll have some fun and kick ass.
That's right. I love it. I can't wait. I know everyone else is excited, especially in the Discord, which you can also get in the description right now. Well, as Guru would say, thank you for watching. Thanks for liking and subscribing. And as always, you're welcome.
What?
Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.